Doom Eternal is known for killing demons and ripping and tearing until it is done. There are going to be many obstacles in my way to get all 50 achievements in Doom Eternal, mainly the jacked bosses and the extra DLCs which I'll be doing later on. There are 3 steps that I follow to get the perfect game, so let's start with the first step, the main campaign. I start the campaign by getting the basic weaponry, a shotgun and a chainsaw. Slaying my way through the crowd, I enter a room that is home to one of the 3 Hell Priests. I immediately chopped off his head, but at least I fixed his crown. Dropping into the average day in Ohio, I showed his severed head to his friends, and they weren't too pleased with me killing them, so they left like the cowards they are. But then a deity known as the Khan Maker took their place and told me to stop my charade and to stay out of it. So I walked out, completing the first mission and awarding me an achievement. Returning to the Doom ship, I acquire the flamethrower, which is a useful tool, but I also get my first Sentinel crystal, which I get to use to upgrade my armor. During the next level, I get access to the blood punch, which is a massive damaging punch if you couldn't tell. Inside an electric generator, I break the chains to reveal another upgrade, the double dash, which was a total surprise if you could tell by my voice. Near the end, I get a cutscene where I talk to Kin Nakil? Narikil? Anyway, he is against me killing the priests, so I steal his lantern thingy and leave. In the next level, I get trapped inside this demon's guts, which contain purple goo, which prohibits me from jumping, because of course it can. Anyway, in the end, I get a mod pack, which is used to upgrade my weapons and give them special abilities. Soon after, I got 33 unique glory kills, and I entered what is known as a Slayer Gate. Now during this playthrough, I didn't complete them all, but I challenged this one, and boy was it tough. Constant threats were emerging from the front and the behind, ready to clap your cheeks to low health, but I ripped and teared my way to complete the bonus stage, awarding me an achievement. A few levels later, I get to play as a Revenant, which is a demon that flies around and shoots rockets. Blowing up the competition, I pick up the super shotgun, also known as the best weapon in the game. During a fighting section, I find a special substance that gives me unlimited ammo. I then turn my shotgun into a machine gun and shred through a total of 666 demons. Shooting my way through the rest of the facility, I get a sneak glimpse at a demon being rejuvenated, and he is slowly getting prepared to fight me. Then finally, the boss room comes, and I get prepared to give this guy all my shots. However, he requires the plasma rifle to burn out his shield before I can start chipping away at his actual health bar. The Doom Hunter has 2 phases, the shield phase and the drone phase, which has no shield, so I can freely pump my loads into his behind. Now after he is defeated, I drop down into another fighting section where you would expect easier enemies than the boss, but Doom Eternal holds no punches, and now I have to fight 2 at them at once. But that's not an issue for me, and they don't really attack at the same time. After the fight, I encounter the second Hell Priest, and his arthritis ass slowly shuffles backwards whilst he's begged for his life, or rather to be continued dead. What's the terminology for that? Anyway, leaving his decomposed head finishes the mission, and I get an achievement, the hunters have become the hunted. One of the mechanics in Doom Eternal is the combat suit he wears, so upgrading and maxing out a section of that suit gets me the achievement. That one is my favorite. Inside a facility, I am tasked with retrieving a robot corpse known as Dr. Hayden. I was advised not to go ahead with my plan, but when has Doom Guy ever listened to anyone else? So I pulled the guy off life support when a breach occurred and an enemy known as a Marauder approached. Marauders are going to hold up energy shields, and if you shoot it, it's going to spawn a ghost hound, so you have to wait until he attacks. Only then can you stun him and get some chip damage in. Returning to the bridge, Samuel Hayden receives a promotion to the new AI, and I ditch Vega. I'm now after a weapon referred to as the BFG, otherwise known as the Big Fried Goose? No, the Big Friendly Giant. Oh, the big freaking gun. But before I do that, I prepare myself by using AA batteries, or Sentinel batteries, to unlock some collectibles, and using 8 total AA batteries unlocks an achievement. Now, the demons are being kept on planet Mars's core, so I storm through a compound holding the turret, and I push the guard out of the way and rotate the turret to aim it at the center. Vega proves useful by shutting off the safety features, and I get a cinematic cutscene where the surface of Mars gets blown to smithereens, and I straight up rip the gun out of the turret to be used for myself. The pod then crashes, plummeting to the ground, but because I'm him, it doesn't affect me at all. I then improved this concept by shooting myself out of a mini turret across the vacuum of space to get to a different building, and closer to the surface of Mars. I then sniped my way, as well as using the BFG for the first time, which is basically a one-shot kill on every demon. This completes the mission, getting me the achievement Interplanetary Fracking for blowing a hole in Mars. Inside Mars is the last Hell Priest, and I arrive at the scene, and Doom Guy gets a flashback to his past, where he was a Hell Gladiator for some reason, and right when I had a clean shot to finally kill the last Hell Priest, he vanishes and leaves me to fight the Gladiator. The Gladiator is like a marauder, except I do get to eradicate his shield, and now it's a fair fight. He tries to do some advanced sword skills, but I just give him the thumbs down and shoot his ass, which causes the Hell Priest to come out. So I take out the trash and menacingly walk out of the arena, awarding me another achievement. Skipping ahead in the story, the next achievement I got was for fully maxing out my armor stat using the Sentinel crystals locked behind a door. I then have another flashback, but this time it was the hooded figure. How scary. Anyhow, I dropped down and collected an extra life token. This was my 20th life token I collected, so it was special for some reason. Now my mission was to collect the Sentinel blade. Like the chainsaw, it instantly kills enemies, but to activate it, I had to dunk it in Kool-Aid, and then epically reveal it. Dropping down the 12-story hole, I get to test my baby out, and that concludes the mission, and I get an achievement for acquiring my Kool-Aid sword. It is then finally revealed what the Khan Maker's plan is, and it is that she wants to control the Icon of Sin, but of course I can't have that, so I destroy her hopes and dreams, making her depressed. It's my job to kill the sad sack, and I would be miserable too if I looked like her. To kill the Khan Maker, you have to break the shield, then grapple up to her face and blood punch away a health bar. Rinse and repeat like 7 times, and then her true form is revealed, and she looks like the alien from Predator. Come to think of it, she's probably one herself. Killing the Maker of Khans awards me an achievement for catching this Predator. Now I have to kill the rampaging baby that just woke up. The Icon of Sin requires me to first strip off his clothes, which I'm good at, before beating his meat. To break his armor, you obviously have to shoot it, and the good thing about this boss fight is that I never felt like I was surrounded all the time. With his armor broken, he retreats to the background, so Samuel opens a portal so I can finish my job. Now it was time for the easy phase. In the meat grinder section, where as the name says, I have to rip and tear away at his flesh. Doing so is easy, and one good rocket snipe was enough to tip him over the edge. Now would be a good time to mention that I did this playthrough on the extra lives mode, so I can get an achievement for completing the game with 10 extra lives, as well as an achievement for finishing the game and killing the Icon of Sin. Little did I know there was an annoying ass bug where if you play on extra lives mode, the game won't let you replay old levels to get the collectibles. So now I had to play through the entire game again just to unlock everything else that I missed. Before I moved on to the DLCs, I wanted to redo the campaign, but this time get all the collectibles and complete the Slayer Gates, which was the first achievement I got. If you don't know, by completing Slayer Gates you get keys. There are 6 in total, and using all 6 unlocks a secret weapon. So by completing the Slayer Gates and getting that achievement, I can get another achievement for unlocking the Unmaker, which was a very powerful weapon. I was then able to unlock all the suit upgrades by using Predator points. They're all my favorites. Moving on, one of the collectibles is the albums that unlock soundtracks that you can view, most of which is the proper Doom music, heavy metal. I then unleashed my inner child and played through the levels so many times just to get the specific toy I wanted to complete the toy collection. I then got all the valuable cheat codes, which gives me perks by replaying levels and making the secret encounters all the more easier. I then get all the information entries, which provides all the secrets and lore to the game. It also tells you enemies' weaknesses, which I always thought my shotgun to their face was their weakness. I then had to complete a mission while only using the feminine cheat, which makes all health drops from demons cease to exist, so you have to rely on the healing in the levels themselves. The last achievement for the main campaign before the DLCs is to fully max out every weapon on the weapon wheel. This isn't too bad, as the game literally gives you tokens that fully max out weapons without you having to lift a finger. But the last weapon I had to master is the rocket launcher, so I put on my cheats and one-shot every enemy within range, and I got the achievement, completing the campaign, which now leaves me with the 2 DLCs, Ancient Gods 1 and 2. There is one more achievement achievement that completely flew over my head because of how random it was. The achievement in question is known as Treasure Hunter, and you may think it was for collecting all the collectibles, but no, it was just for fully completing the level to Ras Nabad. No other level, just this one. Like, what? Why? Doesn't matter, I get to do the DLCs now. The first DLC mission takes place in an underwater facility where I fight 2 marauders at once. Afterwards, I can finish the mission and get one of the 7 achievements. I then have to do a trial where these 2 eyeball cubes fly around, and they only die when I explode the eye and punch the block into the main shrine. I'm doing all of this while being ass blasted by demons. Skipping the cutscene, I get the second achievement. At this point in the DLC, I was heavily disappointed, as the 2-hour levels were essentially one long ass battle, which sucked because there were no breaks. Slayer gates are back in the DLC, and completing them allows me to unlock support runes, with there being 3 in total that I have to collect throughout my playthrough. I then nuked the competition by completing all the secret encounters, which are bonus fights that are under a certain time limit and are usually easy, except this last one was the toughest challenge. For no reason, I blame the new phantom enemies. Anyhow, killing the demons awards me an achievement for completing all secret encounters. I then expanded my intellectual prowess by completing all the codex pages. Now only 2 achievements remain for the first DLC, and all I have to do is beat the final jacked-ass boss, Jesus himself. The fight is simple, it's just hard. He uses the ghosts that you have to kill before his shield is down. What is it with bosses and shields? Finishing the fight, the boss vanishes, and after the end cutscene plays, where an evil clone of me is on the loose, I get the last 2 achievements for beating the first DLC, as well as beating the DLC in extra lives mode. The second DLC is much better, although it is more confusing in the story. Doom Guy rides a frickin' dragon through a snowstorm. I get the achievement for completing the first and second levels, where I then acquire the Sentinel Hammer, which is what the Sentinel Blade wished it could have been. The hammer charges with glory kills, and using it stuns enemies. To upgrade the hammer, I have to do these things called escalated encounters, which are harder fights than the regular encounters. Completing a total of 3 fully upgrades my hammer, which is now tougher than nails. I then got all the codex pages and finished the 3rd level, and now the last 2 achievements for the second DLC requires me to kill myself, or rather the evil devil clone of myself. And this fight was the definition of hell. If you get hit just once, the boss heals his entire health bar, and of course he has a frickin' energy shield, so I can only hurt him if I shotgun him, then use the Sentinel Hammer and rail him in the front. In his final moments, he questions me if I have any last words before I strike him down, and then for the first time, Doom Guy says one word. Killing the Dark Lord sends a typical ending where all the demons are sent back to hell and no more demons can arrive on Earth until the next game. Being sealed away by multiple Jesuses, both DLCs are now completed and I acquire the last 2 achievements for both DLC number 1 and DLC number 2. The last part to 100% Doom Eternal needs me to complete the Horde mode and the online multiplayer, which is deader than my will to live. Horde mode has 3 achievements tied to it, and the last 6 achievements belong to the multiplayer. Starting at Horde mode, I would need to complete the first chapter out of the 3. For the first achievement, Let's Play. For the second achievement, I would need to unlock all the weapons in the weapon wheel, which you do well before actually completing the game mode. Finally, the last Horde mode related achievement is to complete all 3 chapters, and a quick way to do this is to not complete the challenges which detour you to a bonus stage that take up too much valuable time. Completing these 3 objectives finishes Horde mode and unlocks the 3 achievements related to it. Now only the online multiplayer is left. The online multiplayer is incredibly deceased. I tried for hours to load into matches, but had no luck, and I almost considered giving up. But as Rick Astley once said, I'm not giving you up. So I tried one last time, but at night for me, and I was successful. I was able to load into matches. So now the last 6 achievements for Doom Eternal are: deal 5,000 damage as a player demon to the Slayer, as the game loadout has 2 player demons and 1 Slayer, and we have to kill each other to win. I then played as all the demon characters, which led me to pick the flying guy as my favorite. I then had to heal myself or my teammate for 50,000 health. I then killed over 200 opponents, both demon and Slayer. I then had to play a total of 25 battle mode matches, and the last achievement was to kill a player demon with every weapon in my arsenal. This achievement was easier than I would have expected, mainly because my opponents were literal children trying to have fun, and they were up against me. So that gets me the last 6 achievements, fully completing Doom Eternal. Thanks for watching, now check out this video where I got every single achievement in Helldivers 2.